Me personally, my passion, you could say, for in the environment has started because I took GCSE geography, and GCSE geography is very informative about how the world's changing, whether we need to adapt or mitigate change to do with the environment, what we need to do. And I feel like it's really important for the older generation as well to, as much as they do sit down and watch the news, and as much as they do read the newspapers, I feel like some of the older generation don't understand the severity of it. Like you said, Francis, it's not going to affect them per se as much as it will affect us as we will be growing up into this world, that the repercussions of what we do now, they will be felt in the next 20 years. So yes, I created a team. Anna is in it, and as well as Olivia. I think Olivia is here as well. We started to think about how we could implement this around Enfield. And just to expand on Bishop's Go Green, what it was, we got green cardboard bins, and decided that paper and cardboard would be disposed of in that. And because we as students wanted to make sure that the paper and the cardboard was being recycled properly. So we made sure at the end of each week on a Friday, we were escorted by a teacher to the back of the school where the recycling bins were, and we would throw away the paper, recycle the paper, and put it in the correct bin. And I feel like that as students, it gave us a responsibility that we weren't previously allowed to have, that we didn't have before. And we could properly make sure that for our school, the stuff was getting recycled. When we had exams, that was actually passed down to the student council, so the younger students, and I feel like it encouraged them as well, got them more involved, because obviously it's going to be their world that they're living in as well. As far as Enfield Goes Green, which is the kind of campaign project that I'm working on right now, we're working on, Anna and Olivia and I, and Kayhan, who is the young mayor of Enfield, Theo as well. I know Francis, you've spoken to him, but we're just trying to implement this throughout Enfield, and try and get this into as many schools as possible, because we know that agreements were made within the government that we would keep the world temperature under a certain temperature, and it's not happening. And it's really important that we stick to what has been told to us. We know what we have to do, but I feel like we as people, we're too stuck in our ways of not recycling and just living recklessly, throwing things on the floor. And it might not be intentional, it might be subconscious. It might be that you just forget, oh, okay, this is a plastic wrapper, then you just throw it in the bin, when you should be making a conscious effort to recycle, so that the ice caps don't melt, so that we maintain a good global temperature. Also with Enfield Goes Green, we had another idea was with restaurants, and obviously now COVID is a bit more difficult, I would say, but before, like, obviously we didn't have, the restaurants weren't open, so we were looking at implementing this maybe next year. So but now the restaurants and cafes and pubs are open, and hopefully, depending on what the government say, they will remain open for the foreseeable future. We're not to know, but it was that we could possibly get these green bins implemented around restaurants and cafes, as they use a lot of paper, they use a lot of plastic rubbish, they even like tissues that you get when you get a coffee, just to make sure it's disposed of in the right way and it's being recycled, because restaurants and cafes, they do this at a large scale, like as much as schools are a large scale, because a lot of paper is wasted, which we took note of, and which was like really a problem. We saw how much paper, there'll be papers with like 2 sentences on it, and it'll be in the bin. It's like, we need to do something about that. That's not okay. And even the responsibility of teachers, just getting to know, like, okay, if there's going to be 2 words, can you fit in on another sheet of paper that will have maybe a different subject on it, but it needs to fit, because it's unacceptable at this point. And yeah, I feel like it's good that this meeting is happening, that we are in cooperation with you, the Enfield, let me get this right, the Enfield Climate Action Forum, for us to talk, because I feel like it's a really good thing, and I'm really glad to be part of it.